Rich folks are offended. Poor folks are offended. Black folks are offended. White folks are offended. The men are offended. The women are offended. Now we raised up a bunch of kids and the kids are offended. Now we got to live in the same house with a bunch of offended people. Everybody's got something against everybody. And we live in a society that makes a career at keeping us mad at each other. We live in a society that pits us against each other. And so we get offended over what we heard somebody thought and how they feel. And they'll find one dumb somebody that represents that people group that'll come up and say something stupid, and then you'll judge millions of people on that one individual and be offended over one individual. Everybody's offended, everybody's upset, everybody's nerves are on edge. I've never seen such a time where you can't say anything.
Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attraction. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. Because you're the only one can see it. Your imagination is actually God showing you a preview of a coming attraction. The moment you don't believe in your imagination, you negate what he got for you. It is the evidence of things not seen. Because can't nobody see it with you. Your problem is you keep telling your imagination to the wrong people. See, if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. How many times, man, have you had a tremendous idea and you went and told it to your loved ones and your so-called friends, and they shot it down?
I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you want to do. Here's what I know about you. You have greatness within you. Live full, die empty. If anybody told me that I would be doing what I'm doing now, I leave here today, I go to New Orleans and speak there, then I'll be flown to Barcelona, given my circumstances. Born in an abandoned building on a poor section of Miami, Florida. Both my birth parents stood up and said, "Hello, son." I would not know either one. Being labeled educable, mentally retarded, no college training. Anybody told me the principles that I would teach you, this Les Brown that you see, I did not know he existed. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine.
If David would have woken up each morning, thought about his father mistreated him, why did he leave me out, how his brothers were demeaning, that bitterness, the anger, the self-pity would have stopped his destiny. When the offense comes up, don't go there. Keep your mind on the positive. Think on things that are good, wholesome, uplifting. It's not doing anything productive to think about something negative that was said about you. Relive how the person walked away, rehearse all the pain, go back over all the sorrow. That's going to keep you from healing. Let it go. That's in the past. God saw what happened. He heard what they said. He knows what you lost. If you will let it go, He'll make it up to you. He'll give you beauty for those ashes. A friend of mine grew up in a single-parent home. At 5 years old, his father walked out of his life and wouldn't have anything to do with him. As a little boy, he longed to see his dad, but he wouldn't return the mother's call. In his teens, he would send letters to his father, birthday cards, Happy Father's Day. He wanted his father's approval so badly, just to know that he cared, but he never heard a word. He felt the rejection. Thoughts told him he wasn't good enough. There was something wrong with him, but he didn't go there. He didn't let the bitterness in, the self-pity. He said what the psalmist said, even if my mother and father forsake me, God will adopt me as His very own child. When you live in a state of perpetual forgiveness, it's amazing how, despite the injustice, despite how unfair it is, you'll still be happy. You'll still enjoy your life. You'll still do great things. When he was in his 30s, his father finally agreed to see him. He was so excited. It was a dream come true. He flew to another city, knocked on the door. A lady answered and said, "I'm sorry, your father has changed his mind. He's not going to see you." I thought he would be devastated. He said, "Joel, it didn't really bother me. I had already prepared if he wouldn't see me, I was going to let it go and move on." It has not stopped this young man. He has 4 beautiful children. He's happily married, very successful. I would have never known he didn't have an amazing childhood. When you learn to let things go, disappointments can't stop you. Unfair people, how you were raised, bad breaks, you'll keep rising higher, seeing the goodness of God. I've met other people that have been through things like my friend. They're bitter, angry, chip on their shoulder, stuck in line. What's the difference? They hold on to everything. You can't stop it from coming, but you can keep the poison from getting on the inside. When you bury negative emotions, they never die. You can't bottle up the anger, the hurt, the betrayal, and think that's not going to affect you. Joel, I can't forgive them. You don't know what they did. I can't let it go. They hurt me too badly. You're not doing it for their sake. You're doing it for your sake. That poison is contaminating your life. When you release it, you'll step into new levels of freedom, joy, and victory. There was a professional boxer back in the 1990s, and he was known for his aggressiveness in the ring. He fought with such anger and viciousness, almost like he was out of control. For years, he was the middleweight champion of the world, very successful. After one fight, a reporter asked him why he fought with such aggression, how he could be that driven. The reporter was expecting a standard answer, like, I'm just very competitive and I love to box. But he told the reason he fought with such anger, such hostility, was because his father was abusive. He mistreated his mother, fought with her. Their home was very violent. He told his son how he would never amount to anything. At 10 years old, the father abandoned the family, never saw him again. He said, when I step in the ring, I picture my father's face on my opponent. I have so much hatred toward him, I just explode. I thought about the difference between my friend and this boxer. Both had betrayals. Both had rejection. But one is living healthy, great children, being blessed. The other is angry, violent, bitter. The difference is one learned to let things go. The others chose to hold on. And yes, this boxer had success on the outside, but if you're poisoned on the inside, it's going to spoil every victory. Is there something you need to let go of? Bitterness, anger, how someone treated you, what didn't work out? Don't do like him and let that poison the rest of your life. It wasn't right what they did, but you're forgiving so you can be free. You're letting it go so you can see the beauty for ashes. Years ago, there was this toxic waste that needed to be discarded, but nobody knew what to do with it. They had never had to get rid of something that dangerous and that toxic. After studying it, getting different opinions, a company built these big metal containers like you see on a ship. They put the toxic waste in it. They went to great lengths to make sure it was sealed very tightly and wouldn't get out. Then they buried these containers deep in the ground. They were so relieved they finally got rid of it. They thought they were done, but 40 years later, the containers started leaking. It was contaminating the soil, water, air. People had to move away. The problem was the waste was too toxic to you. Bury anger and think it's not going to affect you. You can't bury bitterness and not have it leak out. You can't bury hatred, rejection. That's too toxic. That poison at some point will contaminate not just your dreams, your attitude, your vision, but it will affect the people around you. Best thing you can do is to get that toxic waste out of you. Let it go. You have to give it to God. God, I forgive them for what they did. I let go of the hurts. What I lost, what I didn't get, I trust you to make it up to me. This company never dreamed years later they would be dealing with the same problem, but this time it would be worse. If they had disposed of it properly the first time, they wouldn't have this difficulty. When you bury negative feelings, they never die. Like toxic waste, they're going to resurface through your attitude, through your relationship. The good news is, it's not too late to do something about it. You don't have to live with that contamination on the inside. Let it go. Forgive the person that hurt you. Forgive the parent for what they didn't give you. Let go of the disappointment, the dream that didn't work out. Let go of the guilt, the shame, the regret, the remorse. You can't keep that bottled up and reach your potential. David went to the palace to work as one of King Saul's armor bearers. Saul was proud of David, loved him like a son, but over time, Saul became jealous of David. He could see the anointing and favor on David's life. Instead of being happy for him, he wanted to get rid of him. While David was playing the harp for Saul, trying to make Saul feel better, Saul threw a spear at David and barely missed him. David had to flee for his life. He had done nothing but good for Saul, honored him, served him, but in return, Saul tried to kill him.
I've been told my whole life you'll never be nothing simply because of the way you talk. But I ain't never let that stop me. When I first got on TV at NBC 7 years ago, they sent a linguist So the woman comes in my office and she says, are we ready to begin? And I said, excuse me, ma'am, who are you? She said, NBC is of the understanding in order for you to be successful on daytime TV, you're gonna have to learn how to speak more eloquently. I said, I ain't finna do all that there. She said, say what you just said to me again slowly. I said, I ain't finna do all that there. She said, that's exactly why I'm here. I said, yeah, but I talk just like this here. What's the problem? She said, if you don't learn how to speak more properly, you'll never be successful. I said, who told you that? You walked into my office. I'm already on TV. Now I made it to this point without you. I don't know how you figure I ain't gonna get the rest of the way without you. She says, listen to me. If you don't learn how to speak better, you'll be off TV. I said, which one of these sound best to you? I am broke or I'm is rich? Because I'm is rich.
Are you under the shade of what someone spoke over you, told you what you couldn't do? Now that shade is limiting your life? Do you have friends that are blocking your growth? What could you become if you got out from under that shade? Remove what's blocking your growth and you'll begin to blossom.
I think the biggest vulnerability you've got is you actually value somebody's opinion more than you value your own.
Those people that you're so terrified of their opinion of you, those people are not the ones who will live with the regret. Those other people are not going to be there when it sucks and it's hard for you.
The biggest struggle for me was my family, man. The people closest to me was the biggest struggle. Every time I went out to do another deal, everybody told me, you don't need to do that, man. So the point, you got fuel in your tank, and then you got somebody in the back seat saying, hey, be careful. They're putting mental pressure on the brakes when you're trying to accelerate.
If they're rooting against you and they really just want to see you lose, they're pretending to be concerned, then this is something that you just completely eliminate from your life.
There's always some reason to be down on ourselves. You have to put your foot down and say, no thanks, I'm not living under that shade. Get your passion back. Start believing again. Start dreaming again. One thing that can easily stunt our growth is the people that we're spending time with. Are they making your life better, or are they causing you to compromise? Take the easy way out. If you want to know what you're going to be like in 5 years, look at your friends. I know you love your friends, but your destiny is too great. You need people that bring out the best in you, that challenge you to live a life of excellence and integrity. And too often, we don't realize who we are. We're letting negative voices convince us that we're limited. See, I'm done letting fear and can't do it thoughts dictate my life. Where you are is not your destiny. You can come out of the fear and step in to who you were created to be, a history maker. Anytime we try to move forward, there are people telling us what we can't do. No, quit letting people talk you out of your dreams. It may not have happened for them, but you're a mighty hero. It's going to happen for you. God's favor is on your life in a new way. He's called you to set the new standard, to take your family to a new level.
I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care. disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that it's possible. And here's what I will share with you, that in the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of pain, a lot of defeats. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine, that you don't have to go through life being a victim. I was born in Miami, Florida, in an area called Liberty City with my twin brother. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable, mentally retarded, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. But I met a high school teacher who one day changed my life. I was waiting on another student. When he came in, he said to me, young man, go to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? Because I'm educable, mentally retarded. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And ladies and gentlemen, I started working on my dream. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? One is because of fear. What if things don't work out? The other thing is that most people, ladies and gentlemen, they get comfortable. They stop pushing themselves, and they end up becoming very cynical about life, and they throw in the towel on themselves and on their dreams. What I'm doing now, I could have been doing years ago, but because I didn't believe in myself. Because I allowed other people's opinion of me to control my destiny, I didn't act on my ideas. And not only is it important for you to know it's possible for you to choose your future, but it's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life. People who don't want anything, people who are not challenging themselves, people who have stopped dreaming. It's necessary that you align yourself with people who are hungry, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life. It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't have the vision, that a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. You have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself. By being one of those individuals that keep your commitments, that keep your word, that's relentless. That is you. That no one can do it for you but you. You must understand that. Yes, it's possible that you can choose your future and direct the course of your life. It's necessary that you have goals, that you write those goals down, that you plan. It's also necessary that you look for ways to always find a way to pull it out when everybody else thinks that you are defeated. But the next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running toward your dream. As you hold on to that dream, there are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to believe that you are the one. It was hard laying on the floor of the Penobscot building, looking out of the window, daydreaming. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you're the one. You're the one.
Promise yourself you'll read the books until your skills change. You'll listen to it until it makes sense. Never give up until, however long that is. Step by step, piece by piece, book by book, go for it. Don't miss the chance to grow. Then you'll discover some of life's best treasures when you pay that price. That